Welcome, everyone. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 955. Today, going to talk about tech news aggregators. And I'm recording this on Saturday afternoon, July 19th, because the 10th, when I was supposed to be talking about this, was 2 days before my grandson's graduation party here at the house. And Thursday, I was just so busy because the party was scheduled for Saturday, and it went off. It was great, but there was no way I was going to be able to do the show. So I figured, okay, I'll put it off to the following Thursday. Well, this Thursday, late in the afternoon, I threw my back out. I mean, it was hurting. I could barely sit, and I'm like, that's it. I rescheduled for Saturday. I'm feeling great right now. So I'm going to continue with that topic, tech news aggregators. And before we dive into that, I want to give me a second here. Let me pause. Hold on. I'm trying to find, where's my... there we go. Give me a second. Before we get started, are you looking to change who you use for remote access? Because Instant House Call has an incredible deal. And right now, you can get 90% off, which is insane. So for $47, you can convert to Instant House Call for all your remote access needs. Unlimited attended access points, 10 concurrent sessions. You know, the most I can handle is about 6, where I'm doing like a mail migration, or I'm doing something where, you know, it's kind of hard to keep track of multiples, but, with Instant House Call, you can have all those concurrent sessions. You can white label it because you can have the desktop icon, the installer, the colors, and the name of your company. This is what you need to switch to. Instant House Call for $47 for an entire year. So how do you get that? Go to my website, MikeTechShow.com. Click on, check out the incredible deal, and then click on, go to the bottom, and click on the order page. That's it. It's that simple. And you can call, you can send an email, you can... many ways to sign up, and it's very simple, and you will not regret it. So one of the things that I have been looking for and I've been using is, how do you stay on top of all the information? We are flooded with incredible information that it's so hard to keep track of everything. So what do you use for news aggregators? So the first link for today's show is brutalist.report/topic/tech. Now, they do other sites. They do other, info. But for right now, we're going to concentrate on tech. And if you take a look, you can limit how many articles that you're going to see. And so I'm going to pick 50 here. And what does the Brutalist aggregate? Well, Hacker News, and it puts after each one how many minutes old or how many hours old. Like rethinking CLI interfaces for AI. There's an article, and that's 1 hour. It's rude to show AI output to people. That's an hour old. So we have Hacker News, which I like. The Verge, another great site that it will show you the latest articles. You have ARS Technica, Look at this. This is incredible. The Register. Phoronix. I don't even know Phoronix, but here you go. Wired, of course, Wired publication. Daring Fireball, Linux Weekly News, TechCrunch. That's a popular one. Here's a great one, Bleeping Computer. And we're actually going to focus on a couple of these where I think you should have them bookmarked in your browser because it's a great source for information. Bleeping Computer. This is like 21 minutes old. This article is threat actors downgrade FIDO2 MFA authorization in poison seed phishing attack. Why don't we take a look at that? So here's the threat actors and the article. You want to stay on top of data breaches, issues with any kind of tech news. Maybe Microsoft released a really bad patch and it's going to get some traction in some of these news sites. Tech Radar, that's another one. And then the shortcut and Serve the Home. So hopefully some of these you might not even have heard of. I mean, a lot of us, we've heard about Hacker News, we've heard about The Verge, ARS. Now, this Brutalist is not just tech. That's just one form. You can get all news, business news, science news. How about gaming? I'm not a gamer, so I don't even know these sites. Now, I know GameSpot, but Kotaku, Polygon, here we go, PC Gamer. An hour ago, Destiny 2 dev denies accusations that the Edge of Fate introduced stealth nerfs after players identify missing changes in the expansion's massive changelog. You see, that means absolutely nothing to me, but for you, the gamer in your life or who you know, they may really like this. You got sports. Of course, all the ESPN sites, and ESPN, MLB. Now, of course, Schwarber was the MVP for the All-Star game this past week, so that was great. I just wanted everybody to see what I look at for trying to stay on top of everything. Some of these lead to topics for the show. A lot of it, it's just, hey, this is what you need, to stay on top of everything. Here's another one, TechMain, and there's top news articles here, and then you can scroll down and take a look. It's a different type of site. Apple sues a YouTuber, an article. Microsoft shuts down the movies and TV storefront on the Microsoft Store. And we got some Xbox news there. Take a look at this. And this is TechMain, TechMeme.com. I noticed that wasn't covered in the Brutalist. So I have a few things that are covered and aren't covered. And again, everything that I'm mentioning here will be in the show notes. So next, I got the Hacker News, because sometimes there's a delay on the Brutalist. So Hacker News, this you really can stay on top of zero-day exploits, news from any kind of data breach, just what's happening in the tech world. AI, Google sues 25 Chinese entities. Some of these you're not going to care about. Some of them you might. Hackers used GitHub repositories to host Amadei malware and data stealers bypassing filters. So that could be interesting. Why don't we take a look at that real quick? So threat actors are leveraging public GitHub repositories, and I always link to GitHub for different open source programs. to host malicious payloads and distribute them via Amadei as a part of a campaign observed in April 2025. So keep an eye on this. And something I want to know, what are the sites and news aggregators that you rely on that I'm not mentioning here? Email me, miketechshow@gmail.com, and I will include them in a future show. Okay, bleeping computer. This you have to have. As a matter of fact, I learned about bleeping computer, years ago when we were looking to find a resolution for a particular ransomware, a particular virus, infection, and bleeping computer was always on the cutting edge of those articles. Well, you should regularly try and look at bleeping computer, just the latest articles. How to conduct an AI risk assessment, a free guide. Microsoft mistakenly tags Windows firewall error log bug as fixed. New ChatGPT o3 alpha model hints at coding upgrade. You have all kinds of stuff. You have secure, and they're different categories. So you have security, and you could just click on that and get all of the security articles. Then I'm going to go back. If you want artificial intelligence, you'll get them. Deals. Here we go. Why not take a look at what are the latest deals? So let's see. Let's pick one. I seen something with a VPN. This Adobe PDF competitor doesn't require a subscription. There's a few of them. And I'll tell you, interesting that this one is here, this Adobe PDF. I have been in constant search of the perfect alternative so I don't have to pay what Adobe puts a gun to my head every year for paying for Adobe Acrobat Pro. The problem is, and a lot of my clients have this issue, Adobe Acrobat Pro is the only game in town for certain features. There are things that I do that I can't find in any of the competitors. And maybe that's a good topic for a show. That would be great. Let me know. Every program out there has some kind of flaw, something that it doesn't do that unfortunately Adobe Acrobat Pro does. So that's something else, email me. Here's something else on Bleeping Computer, not just news articles, but you got virus removal guides. This is where you can search the different threat or the infection that you're dealing with, and it can give you the proper method and procedure for removal. And here we go. Remove the smartwebfinder.com search redirect. So, and if you followed that article, it would describe what you would have to do to be able to get rid of it. So print out instructions before you begin. Use rkill to terminate suspicious programs. That's bringing back some memories. I haven't talked about rkill in a while. Use Malwarebytes anti-malware to scan for the malware. Use Adware Cleaner to remove adware from computers. Use Hitman Pro to scan your computer for badware. There we go. That's a new name, badware. I haven't heard that. You also got downloads for the different programs that they have. They link to the latest version. Here's a browser check, Stop Decryptor, Aurora Decryptor, Files Locker Decryptor. It's a ransomware decryptor. If you get hit with ransomware, remember, unplug the computer from the network and then go to a different computer that you can start trying to search for the solution. But remember, the ultimate answer for any ransomware is back up, back up, back up. All right, with all of these sites, I want to bring up an oldie but goodie. This is a site that I often use. As a matter of fact, at one time it was my homepage, and this is refdesk.com. Right now, if there was a takeaway from today's show, it's The Brutalist and Refdesk. Refdesk, I'm going to give you a little history about. This was developed. Do you remember the Drudge Report? Well, this was developed in 1995, around the same time the Drudge Report came out. This is Drudge's father who started this. Now, he sold Refdesk to a person. I'm thinking of my history here. I think 2018. I think Bob Drudge sold this. It is an aggregator of everything that you would need to search anything. Now, remember, my website is set for 10. What is it? 10. I keep it on a. I keep the display settings. There you go, 1024 by 768. So it's big enough for me to display. So that's the. Unfortunately, if you have a big, clean, and I will, you know what? I'll change this on the fly right now to its regular setting, and then we'll keep the changes. And now wait until you see the difference on Refdesk. So you can see, I mean, you can't see the detail, but you can, I'm demonstrating just how far away. You have a dictionary and thesaurus off to the side. You have search Refdesk, search Wikipedia, search Google News, search stock quotes. It's your all-in-one news aggregator. You have headline news, money stats, news photos. There is today's birthday. There's this day in history. France declares war on Prussia in 1870 today. Article of the day, pet skunks. Oh, never. Book of the month, thought of the day, fact of the day, site of the day. If you're just bored and you want to check out some things, you have daily diversions, and there's a whole bunch of links. Potpourri, test preparation. Take a look at this. So your MCAT prep, your SAT preparation. There are links to everything. And this is a great aggregator for searching content, finding what you want to, anything, just anything. So the links for today's show, absolutely, I believe, should be in your bookmarks, and you should have them at your disposal. There's so many things on the internet. That's why we try to, make it concise as much as we can for sites to aggregate the fire hose of information that we're given on a daily basis, and news is just so I try to stay away from the political portion and just want to see what's happening with tech. You can't ignore the politics because it could involve tech when it comes to tariffs and things like that. We need to be aware of, the fluctuation of prices, especially if we're selling things. And I have been just so incredibly busy. Next week, it's just all new system installs. If you could see the workbench behind me, there are 5 systems being finished up. And then I have 6 more that have to be deployed. Almost every day next week, we have systems that we are deploying, all because of Windows 11 and Windows 10 coming up October 14th. I knew this, and I called it way back, for everybody. It's the summer of Windows 11 and getting everybody upgraded. And we knew this, and we're trying to minimize that September push, which we're not going to be able to. It's just going to be overwhelming. So I just wanted to there's going to be a lot of stories, and there's been a lot of tips I've been collecting. But I've had this topic set for a couple weeks. But the tips that I've been building are literally the next 2 shows. So I got some great tips coming down the pike here. I want to read an email, and this is from Bob. Bob, sorry it's taken so long to get to you. I know he sent this on July 9th, and I was going to read it on the 10th. So he goes, "Hi, Mike. I was wondering if you or any of your listeners have come across this issue with Windows 11. Whenever I end a sentence with a period, Windows puts in 2 periods. I know it is in Windows 11 because I can get it to do this at the command prompt level and also in PowerShell. I also checked to see if it was my Office suite because it also does it in Outlook and Word. I'm using Office 2021, and I've changed every setting that I can think of that may be causing this, but I still have it putting double periods. These are some of the things I have tried in the Windows settings. I turned off the double tap space bar. So here he circles add a period after I double tap the space bar. In the keyboard properties, I have turned down the repeat rate. Now, I'm going to read, there's a few things that I came across. And Bob, I don't know if you've tried this, but to disable double spacing and double anything, go into Word's options, and you got to find the proofing options. Go to File, Options, Proofing. Click on Settings next to Writing Style. Find the settings selected to spaces required between sentences, spaces between sentences. Do you have a period somewheres in there? And that's what I'm wondering. On the operating system settings, go to Settings, Devices, Typing. Find the Add a Period after I double tap the space bar and option and toggle it off, which I think you did. And that's just, there's got to be somewhere where you've entered another period. And since you're finding it at the command prompt, which is very unusual, you're right, it's got to be a Windows setting somewhere. And check accessibility. Check, you got to start going through every Windows setting and try to find that. If anybody has help and can shed some light on this, I'll share it with Bob right away. Email me, miketechshow@gmail.com. So I could see how that would be very, very, very frustrating. That would annoy me to no end if I type a period and then another period happens. So, all right, that's it for today's show. Remember, check out my YouTube videos. That's where all the videos are posted at youtube.com/Michael Smith MTS. Email me. Could it possibly be the keyboard? You know what, Taz? That's the that's the obvious, but we don't think of that, Bob. Try another keyboard. It just to take that off the table. You know, just plug in another keyboard and see if that makes a difference. You know, see, I was going to wrap up, but now I got a story. So it makes me think of, all right, why? And I think I've said this before, and I think my female listeners are going to attack when I say this, but it's never a guy. It's always a female assistant, a secretary, a paralegal. Why? My wife, I'll throw into this category. Why do they put pencils, pens, things on the keyboard? I can't tell you how many times we've had something where we log in, and it's constant typing. They called because they thought they were hacked, and someone's just typing random characters. I say, take your keyboard and shake it upside down. Oh, it stopped. Because whenever it was doing that, it was like jamming in a key. You know what, Bob? Could we have something going on with your keyboard? That is definitely a possibility and worth checking. Taz, thank you so much for that in the chat. See, that's why I love doing this live, and I love having the live chat for this. So remember, email me, MikeTechShow@gmail.com. And don't forget, hit the main website, MikeTechShow.com, for all the information that you need, and check out Instant House Call for that incredible deal. And you're thinking about switching because you just got price increases for your current remote access provider? Switch to Instant House Call, save some money, and gain features. That's it. Hope to see everybody back on the regular schedule on Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye-bye, everybody.